So you just started a new Ironman profile a few minutes ago, hyped to start this new game mode for the first time. Or maybe you have experience with the game mode, but you just have hit a big roadblock and have no idea what to do next. Or perhaps you're just here for entertainment. Either way, this is going to be a good video for you. In this video, I'm going to teach you the ways of the pro Ironman player and how to progress quickly on Ironman. This video will cover things needed to complete the catacombs from nothing to a Hyperion. I designed this guide without having to do dragons because I just hate having to grind for 2 hours for summoning eyes just to have the dragon instantly die and I get nothing out of it. Also, please note that this guide does have many gaps as it mainly focuses on step-by-step to get dungeons gear. Just before I start, I wanted to say that I spent a lot of time researching and figuring out good progression route that is not too steep and not too slow. I would really appreciate it if you would so much as subscribe and like the video. But without further ado, let's get started. So just some preparations when you create the profile. So you just spawned in on your island. The first thing you want to do is simply type /hub. When you get to the hub, the first thing you want to do is find Jamie and claim the rogue sword. Right after that, what you want to do is head over to the spider's den and talk to the archaeologist. If you then spend a couple of minutes collecting the lost relics in the spider's den, you can make a pretty good amount of coins, as each relic gives you 10,000 coins. Just make sure you don't die, as you will lose half of your coins. Then you will want to buy a rookie hoe from the farm merchant in the hub, and use it to farm wheat. You can sell this wheat to the NPC for some coins, but the main thing you want from the wheat is farming levels. Before you go anywhere, spend a portion of the coins that you got from the relics to buy some gold and sticks to craft a gold shovel. Then put efficiency 3 to 5 on the shovel. With shovel in hand, head over to the mushroom desert and mine sand. Mining sand is a very fast way to unlock mining levels for the dwarven mines. Sand can also be sold to the NPC for a very decent amount of coins. Once you hit mining 12, head over to the gold mines and get the lazy miner's pickaxe. Use it to go to the deep caverns and mine just enough diamonds to get an ordinary diamond pickaxe. Enchant a diamond pickaxe with efficiency 5 and fortune 3. Then travel back to the deep caverns to mine for some enchanted ores to give to Riz to unlock the dwarven mines. Personally, I would go for 30 enchanted lapis as it is the easiest to get. With this, you want to give it to Riz, the person in the obsidian sanctuary. Give him 10 enchanted lapis in one lobby, and then switch lobbies, and he would actually accept 10 more as a different, unique ore. Do that with all 30 enchanted lapis until you gain access to the dwarven mines. Once you are in the dwarven mines, you want to do your daily commissions every day until you get to Hardened Mountain 3. It can also be useful to get your mining level up to be able to apply reforges. Over the course of the rest of the steps in this tutorial, you will want to try and do your daily commissions every day to make it easier to reach Hardened Mountain 7 when you need to. Minions. Minions are very important for progression on Ironman. From the start, you will want to unlock as many collections as you can and craft as many minions as you can. At the start, I would put down a chicken minion with an enchanted egg inside of it to get eggs for pets. The process to get the first egg, however, can actually be quite painful. You need to wait on the farming island until the chickens lay enough eggs to be able to craft a chicken hat. Once you craft the chicken hat, you will want to shift as much as possible to get eggs. But once you get the first enchanted egg, it gets much easier, as you can put that enchanted egg into your chicken minion and it will start producing eggs. For starting minions, you should put down redstone minions with compactors and cobblestone minions to go for a super compactor 3000. To start making a solid amount of money that you will need to unlock dungeon drops in the future, you will want to turn to farming. The first thing you will need to do before you start farming is to go to the mushroom desert and collect some cocoa beans. You will need to build a cocoa bean farm on your island to get replenish, as almost all the farms before the cocoa bean farm on the garden require the replenish enchant. You can also place down cocoa bean minions if you want. Next, Head over to the stranger on your island if you have not already, and warp to the garden. From there, you will need to give Sam some wheat, and once you give him the wheat, he will turn it into bread, and you will open up a shop. Make sure that you tend to this shop and make trades with the NPCs to get copper and garden levels. You will want to spend some copper on the Lotus armor equipment, the builder's ruler, and sunder books for your axes. It can also be helpful to go through the islands that you can go to and talk to as many NPCs as possible. After doing this, you will want to start progressing in the garden, as it will be your main source of money. Unlock your first plot and clear out the grass and leaves. You do not need to clear out the logs from the trees, it's just a waste of time. After clearing the plot out, turn it into a wheat farm. Use your first replenish book on the axe that you use for farming cocoa beans. Use this axe to get another replenish book to put on a rookie hoe, and start farming wheat. Use this wheat to trade with NPCs at your shop, and turn some into compost to start unlocking more plots. You also want to make sure that you are getting your garden level up as high as you can to unlock the sugarcane, netherwort, and cocoa bean farms as soon as possible. After you achieve the farms, you want to start farming for money. At this point, assuming you have the full Lotus equipment set, you will no longer need to farm for copper or compost, so if you have not already, use some wheat to craft full farm armor and farm for money. After farming for a few hours, you should have enough money to start dungeons. Starting dungeons. Now that you have a good money maker, you need to start getting better gear by running dungeons. But before you can start running dungeons, you need to get to combat 15. To do this, go to the NPC Rosetta and get the best set for damage, and reforge it to Fierce. Also, at this point you should head over to the Park Island and get yourself a Raider's Axe if you have not already. Once you get some solid enchants on your Raider's Axe, and have it reforged to Sharp, you are ready to start leveling combat. Start by killing Crypt Ghouls in the hub to get to combat level 12. At this level, you gain access to the end. In the end, you want to grind Enderman until you get a full set of Ender armor, and you have unlocked the recipe for the aspect of the end. Make sure that you save about 32 stacks of enchanted Ender Pearls for actually crafting the aspect of the end. For the next 4 days, you will need to buy Blaze Powder from the Alchemist to craft 32 Eyes of Ender. Once you craft the aspect of the end, and you get the full set of Ender armor, you are ready to start dungeons. Starting off, you want to run entrance floor with your Ender armor and aspect of the end, until you get the Dreadlord sword and full heavy armor. Reforge the heavy armor to Wise and the Dreadlord sword to Heroic. You will also want to buy some dark goggles for extra mana. At this point, you should replace the redstone and cobblestone minions with sheep minions for the sheep pet. This next part of the grind can either take you a couple runs or it could take a while, depending on your luck. But you want to start running F1 runs. From F1, you are looking for the Bonzo Staff and Bonzo Map. Before you start running, make sure that you have 4 to 5 million coins, as the last thing you want is to drop the item and not be able to afford it. Anyways, after you drop the Bonzo Staff and Mask, you will want to use them to run some F2 to get Ultimate Wise books for your Bonzo Staff. You should get your Bonzo Staff to about Ultimate Wise 3 to 4. Make sure that you get your Bonzo Staff and Mask to 5 stars. Now that you have the Bonzo Staff and Mask, you should start running some F3 runs. For the first F3 runs, you don't need to worry about surviving, as the setup you're currently using will not be enough to survive. Instead, what you're looking for is Zombie Soldier armor. Run F3 runs until you drop Zombie Soldier boots, leggings, and a chest plate. Reforge them all to Wise and get them to the highest star that you can get them to. And you should be able to survive F3 now. At this point, you want to run F3 to get the full adaptive set. The grind is also completely dependent on your luck. Make sure that when you're running F3, you have at least 5 million coins every run. Alongside the adaptive pieces, also buy any Ultimate Wise books and Necromancer's breeches that you come across, as they will be used shortly. After you get the full adaptive set, enchant it and get it to as many stars as you can. Also use 4 of your Necromancer's breeches to make the full set necrotic. Advancing through dungeons. After you have the full adaptive set maxed out, it is unfortunately time to start running F4. From F4, the only things that you want are Spirit Wings, Ultimate Wise Books, Rend Books, and 1 Spirit Stone. The amount that you will need for all the Spirit Wings total is 6 million coins, so you should have over 3 million coins for every run that you're doing. Also, you can take a break from dungeons to mine lapis in the minecarts at the Dwarven Mines to get 6 enchanted lapis blocks. Now go back to running F4 for the Spirit Wings. Once you get all 3 of the Spirit Wings, you can immediately go ahead and craft the Spirit Scepter. After crafting it, you will want to put all the Ultimate Wise books that you have saved up to get Ultimate Wise 4 to 5 on the Spirit Scepter. Also enchant it, reforge it to Heroic, and get it to 5 stars. With this Spirit Scepter, you should be able to do some F5 runs now. The majority of your time in dungeons up until F7 will most likely be spent in F5. In your F5 runs, you will want to have over 8 million coins every run, but if you do want to drop a Shadow Fury, then you will want to have over 16 million coins every run. From F5 runs, you want to look out for Recombobulators, any Shadow Assassin pieces, a Livid Dagger, any Overload books, Legion books, and Ultimate Wise books. This is a pretty big checklist to complete, so it will most likely take a pretty long time. Also, it is totally fine to not drop a Shadow Assassin chestplate. With a fresh Shadow Assassin chestplate and Livid Dagger, and perhaps a Shadow Fury, you are ready to take a break from F5 runs. Also, if you did not drop a Shadow Assassin chestplate, use a Zombie Soldier chestplate. They can be dropped from F3, so if you did not get one yet, you can just run some F3. Make sure to reforge your Shadow Assassin to Fierce and your Livid Dagger to Sharp or Spicy. Also, get them to 5 stars. At this point, you will want to try your Shadow Assassin armor against some non-dungeon bosses. Start trying to do some Enderman Slayer, as the Juju Bow will be almost mandatory for doing F7 runs. Before you start sweating Enderman Slayer, be sure to place down some quartz and obsidian minions. Before going for the Juju Bow, you should go for Final Destination armor, as it will make it easier to survive the higher tier bosses. If you cannot survive the tier 2 boss with your Shadow Assassin, you could either get the Shadow Assassin chestplate, or you could get a crystallized heart helmet for better regeneration. After getting the Juju Bow, get it enchanted with the normal enchants. Also, don't forget to replace your quartz and obsidian minions. You should put down mostly clay or snow minions, with 3 to 5 fish minions. Now you want to put any Overload books and Recombobulators that you got from your F5 runs on your Juju Bow. Use the Spirit Stone that you got from F4 to reforge the bow to Spiritual. You should also put any Rend books that you got from F4 as a temporary ultimate enchant until you get access to Soul Eater. With the Juju Bow, you now have a choice to make. You can either go back to F5 to get the Shadow Assassin chestplate if you have not already, or you could start F6. If you chose the second option, then you can just do F6 with your Shadow Assassin armor and Juju Bow that you already have. In F6, look out for Swarm Books, Giant Teeth, Ancient Roses, and Necromancer lore pieces. Of course, you can also look out for crazy rare drops like the Giant Sword or the Summoning Ring. So just in case you do drop one of those crazy rare drops, make sure that you have a very full purse of over 25 million coins. You will also need 9 Ancient Roses to craft a Flower of Truth, and the Necromancer Lord pieces can be used as a tank or mage setup in the future, but they are optional. After getting the Flower of Truth with any swarm enchants that you got, you are ready to move on. Before you start attempting F7 runs, you need to start advancing mining. Up until this point, you've been farming for all your money, which is a lot of farming. Now the prices for things is going to get a lot higher, so it will be important to have a better money making method. To start out, if you have not already over the course of the profile, get to Heart of the Mountain level 7. You also need to take some time to advance your fishing setup so that you can gain access to the Soul Whip. Fishing. Hopefully the fishing minions that you put way back up after completing the Juju Bow have gotten enough that you can get your lily pad collection up high enough to craft either the Rod of Champions or the Rod of Legends. It would also be important to get enough sponge for the sponge armor set. With this new fishing setup, wait until a spooky event and fish for Grim Reapers to get 8 soul fragments, and also get enough ectoplasm for the soul whip. Mining continued. Now that you have obtained the soul whip, use it to grind sorrows to get 72 sorrows, to get a full set of sorrow armor. Make sure to save any plasma that you get, as it will be used for the titanium drill 555. Now that you have the full sorrow set, use a refined titanium pickaxe bought from the Boo Boo NPC to get a titanium drill 355. Use the drill to upgrade it to the 455 and then the 555. If you want to go even farther, you could upgrade it to the 655. At this point, you need to move into the crystal hollows to start mining gemstones and doing some crystal nucleus runs for 24 Devon fragments, and mine gemstones for the gemstone mixtures needed for the Devon armor. You will also need to lava fish for enough gemstone chambers to unlock the gemstone slots on the Devon armor. With this setup, you should be able to make a lot more money than you were before. Now that you can make a lot more money than before, you can finally do some preparations for your first F7 run. Now it's finally time that if you did not already, get the Shadow Assassin chestplate. You need to get it now, no matter what. With the full Shadow Assassin reforged to Fierce, 5 stars, and Enchanted, it's time to put some hot potato books on it. Use your garden to make a potato farm and farm for 40 enchanted baked potatoes. You could even do some F6 frag runs to get 32 livid fragments to upgrade the Shadow Assassin armor's rarity. With that being all said and done, it's finally time to attempt your first F7 run. Up until this point, you might have been able to get away without using mods. But now it's time to get some mods. In the terminal phase, you will be useless without solvers. For your first F7 run, use your full Shadow Assassin armor, your Juji bow, your livid dagger, and your Flower of Truth. It could also be useful to get your Bonza staff out again, as it can be useful in the first phase of the boss fight. You will want to play as Archer class, but that will most likely be taken, so go for either Berserker or Healer, depending on which one is available. Once you can successfully complete an F7 run, you should start grinding them out. Make sure that you have over 40 to 45 million coins in your purse to buy any jobs that you might get. Some jobs that you need to look out for are any Wither armor pieces, precursor gears, Wither catalysts, Soul Eater books, 1 Wither cloak sword, 1 for all books, Wither blood, recombobulators, any of the Wither scrolls, an auto recombobulator, and of course a Necron's handle. Keep running F7 runs until you get a full set of Wither armor. Then you want to run F7 frag runs to get 32 Diamante handles. Then make the Wither set into Necron armor, replace the Shadow Assassin armor with the Necron armor, and keep running F7 until you get another Wither set. This time, when you are doing the F7 frag runs, go for 32 laser eyes and make a storm set. Following the completion of your storm set, get some shadow goggles if you are Catacombs level 27 or lower, but get some Wither goggles if you are Catacombs 28 or higher. But you will want to keep running dungeons with your Archer setup for now. Once the best moment in your Skyblock career happens and you drop a handle, you can do some more F7 frag runs to make the unrefined Necron blade whatever type you want. And now you're done. I really hope that you found this video helpful because, as I said earlier, I spent a very long time researching for a good path of progression. So at the very least, just please drop a like on this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and goodbye.